Later people of the Fertile Crescent. The Babylonians conquered Mesopotamia. Although Ur rose to glory after the death of Sargon, repeated foreign attacks drained its strength. By 2000 BC, Ur lay in ruins. With Ur's power gone, several waves of invaders battled to gain control of Mesopotamia. The rise of Babylon. Babylon was the home to one such group. The city was located on the Euphrates River near what is today Baghdad, Iraq. Babylon had once been a Sumerian town by 1800 BC. However, it was home to a powerful government of its own in 1792 BC. Hammurabi became Babylon's king. He would become the city's greatest monarch, a ruler of a kingdom or empire. Hammurabi's Code. Hammurabi was a brilliant war leader. His armies fought many battles to expand his power. Eventually, he brought all of Mesopotamia into his empire, called the Babylonian Empire, after his capital. Hammurabi's skills were not limited to the battlefield, though. He was also an able ruler who could govern a huge empire. He oversaw many buildings and irrigation projects and improved Babylon's tax collection system to help pay for them. He also brought much prosperity, though increased trade. Hammurabi, however, is most famous for his code of laws. Hammurabi's code was a set of 282 laws that dealt with almost every part of the daily life. There were laws on everything from trade, loans, and theft to marriage, injury, and murder. It contained some ideas that are still found in laws today. Specific crimes brought specific penalties. However, social class did not matter. For instance, injuring a rich man brought a greater penalty than injuring a poor man. Hammurabi's code was important not only for how thorough it was, but also because it was written down for all to see. People all over over the empire could read exactly what was against the law. Hammurabi ruled for 42 years. During his reign, Babylon became the most important city in Mesopotamia. However, after his death, Babylonian power declined. The kings that followed faced invasions from people Hammurabi had conquered. Before long, the Babylonian Empire came to an end. Invasions of Mesopotamia. Several other civilizations also developed in and around the Fertile Crescent. As their armies battled each other for a Fertile Crescent, control of the region passed from one empire to another. The Hittites and Kassites. A people known as the Hittites built a strong kingdom in Asia Minor in what is today Turkey. Their success came in part from two key military advantages they had over rivals. First, the Hittites were among the first people to master ironworking. This meant that they could make the strongest weapons of the time. Second, the Hittites skillfully used the chariot, a wheeled horse-drawn cart used in a battle. The chariots allowed Hittite soldiers to move quickly around the battlefield and fire arrows at their enemies. Using these advantages, Hittite forces captured Babylon in around 1595 BC. Hittite rule did not last long, however. Soon after taking Babylon, the Hittite king was killed by an assassin. The kingdom plunged into chaos. The Kassites, a people who lived north of Babylon, captured the city and ruled for almost 400 years. The Assyrians, later in the 12th BC, the Assyrians from the northern Mesopotamia briefly gained control of Babylon. However, the empire was soon overrun by invaders. After this defeat, the Assyrians took about 300 years to recover their strength. Then, starting about 900 BC, they began to conquer all of the Fertile Crescent. They even took over parts of Asia Minor and Egypt. The key to Assyrians' success was their strong army. Like the Hittites, the Assyrians used iron weapons and chariots. The army was very well organized, and every soldier knew his role. The Assyrians were fierce in battle. Before attacking, they spread terror by looting villages and burning crops. Anyone who dared to resist them was killed. After conquering the Fertile Crescent, the Assyrians ruled Nineveh. They demanded heavy taxes from across the empire. Areas and resisted these demands were harshly punished. Assyrian kings ruled their each large empire through local leaders. Each governed a small area, collected taxes, enforced laws, and raised troops from the army. Roads were built to link distant parts of the empire. Messengers on horseback were sent to deliver orders to faraway offshores. The Chaldeans. In 652 BC, a series of wars broke out in the Assyrian Empire over who should rule. These were greatly weakened the empire. Sensing this weakness, the Chaldeans, a group from the Syrian desert, led other peoples in an attack on the Assyrians. In 612, they destroyed Nineveh and the Assyrian Empire. In its place, the Chaldeans set up a new empire on their own, Nebuchadnezzar. The most famous Chaldean king rebuilt Babylon into a beautiful city. According to legend, his grand palace featured famous hanging garden trees, and flowers grew on its terraces and roofs. From the ground, the garden seemed to hang in the air. The Chaldeans admired Sumerian culture. They studied the Sumerian language and built temples to Sumerian gods. At the same time, Babylon became a center of astronomy. Chaldeans charted the positions of Earth and stars and kept tracks of economic, political, and weather events. They also created a calendar and solved complex problems of geometry.